We're waiting on the edge of our seats for you.
I'm sure.
Rick said we cannot start without Paul.
Good morning. I'd like to call the committee special meeting of Tuesday, September 16th to order. Notice of the meeting was properly posted on Item number 1 is approval of minutes. 8/26. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let's do this cover thing. Item 2 is the cover. Thank you, Aaron, for your contribution in this area. And the creativity.
So this is version 1. No.
That's called the swirl. Huh?
And this is the dot.
Yeah.
Well, they both look good and they both would work. I think my personal preference is the second one with the dots. It just seems to be a little bit more
Discreet.
I'm just starting dialogue. I really don't care.
I like this
I
one.
like
Okay.
the dots. So I'm with you.
Dots. I just think I love the
Sure.
swirl,
Think about it.
but the dots just seem slightly more professional.
But I just like them anyway. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Truly.
All right, does it really matter?
No.
It does.
I'll make a motion to approve the dots.
So version 2,
Yes.
Okay. There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Is there discussion? Thank you. Well, we're breaking Aaron's heart.
You want to advocate for this?
As long as it's not the one that's there right now.
Okay. The blank one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just made it very all right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, from this
Yes.
point,
All those opposed, nay.
Are
you
you
voting nay?
really wanted the swirl?
I want the
So we
swirl.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, sorry, Paul.
That's okay.
From this point forward,
We have a democratic society.
This was our new
And thank you, Aaron. And by the way, I do want to, we heaped a lot of praise on Cassie yesterday during BET, and I do want to keep us just sane. And thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
What I do want to do, and I want to jump in here, and the simple reason for this is just to pull up. It will be item 17. So when we go over what these other items, I want to pull up the 2025 handbook policy updated draft RB and LAH 9.
Okay, do you want to make a motion relative to that item?
I would like to make a motion to
Take it back to
Maintain.
17?
take up item 17. All in favor, please say aye.
Oh, I need a second.
Is there a second? I'm sorry.
Second.
This is why she's so important. Okay, all in favor, say aye. So you understand my reasoning behind it. It's just so we can pull this up and then we can jump back up to, is it item 3?
No, that's not.
All right, this to me, and the reason why I'm asking, it's just the sheer fact that this was kind of our working draft. And when there are updates, this is the document that's edited. So, All right. Now that we've got that up, you good, Cassie?
I'm just trying to find where we left off. I think it's-
Let's see. So item 3 is discussion on possible action to accept changes to the employment classification section of the handbook to include definitions listed within. Miss Aaron, tell us about that. And do you have a page number?
Yes. It's on page 9. Okay, so I am recommending we just change this to departments, HR representative, or employees, HR representative, just to be specific to those who do not have an elected official. I think in this case, this is going to always be an HR representative and not an elected official or department head. And then to add temporary employee. I did have a question though about temporary employees. Do the districts employ temporary employees?
Yeah, we could do seasonal.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we will want to keep that in, and I think that just got skipped last time. So, thoughts on that? I guess we can start with that first paragraph, and then that highlighted the citation. We voted for that to be accepted last meeting. I just want to make sure it makes it over to the other draft.
So it's not in there.
It wasn't when I reviewed it.
Okay.
But that was already voted on, just for your notes, Ms. Hines.
Oh, the 20, are you talking about the 29 USC? Okay. I've got it in there as my most recent, so I know that that needs to be fixed. It is fixed now in my newest draft.
Okay.
So after we talked.
How many drafts have you
I
had?
wasn't gonna ask. That's what's got me so confused. I have to.
29 U.S. Code Section 201. What you're talking about, is that correct?
Yeah, so it's for this one right here. I thought maybe it was that one, but it's not, because I
No.
see now it's supposed to be down here. But I clicked on this one and it goes to.
I don't, these links are just, I'm sure we're gonna do.
Aaron, did you look up that code? Just to make sure that
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
that
the 29.
yeah, that's already approved.
Yeah.
So my discussion now is just on that first paragraph. So if there's no discussion, I would make a motion to approve those changes to that first paragraph under employment classifications.
And please explain your reason one more time. The reason for that is for people who don't work for elected officials. Is that correct?
Yes, and also just in this context, this person that's performing this is going to be an HR representative and not an elected official that's sending over information, that's working with job classifications, doing job descriptions.
Do you think we need to say anything about what department, the department's HR representative will notify? I guess, I mean, that just means whatever department that person's in.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion?
I said, well, maybe. You want to say, I don't know if it makes a difference. Department's HR representative or appropriate departments? HR representative.
I think it should just say departments or an employee's HR representative. But I
Or the employees, yeah, that's fine too.
That would make more sense
Does
to
that-
me.
Distinguishes their department.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say employees in HR.
So, Karen, are you willing to amend your?
Yeah, I would amend the motion to accept those changes, but with employees, HR representative rather than.
Okay. And, Leanne, you seconded that or?
I did second, and I'll re-second if I need to.
All right. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that was item 3.
Okay, so moving on to the descriptions. I know,
This is item 4.
it's- no, actually,
Yes.
Yeah, it's still
we're
item
still-
3.
Okay. Thank you. Keep going.
There was a lot of talk about full-time. I think we can kind of blanket statement and say an individual who is regularly scheduled to work 40 hours or more per week. And that includes our 28-day cycle people. That includes everyone.
Law enforcement is a different full-time. I think you have to make that distinction. It's still full-time. You have to do the
Right.
171 hours.
So they're scheduled to work 40 hours or more.
You can have full-time as long as they're over 30 and they're eligible for.
They're eligible for health benefits, but they're not eligible for all benefits.
Sure, but they're still full-time over 30 hours.
And that's not how the handbook reads currently or this version.
I mean, I've never seen that. I mean, I've looked through a lot of the handbooks. I don't remember. So is that just something that's a rule out there that's never made it into the handbook?
It is in the handbook.
I mean, about the 30 hours.
Um,
Because I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing that.
I thought full-time was like 36 or more.
The handbook may be incorrect, but it's a different.
The Department of Labor Federal Standard.
Oh,
Okay.
But we're talking about eligibility for benefits, which is 40 hours.
And until any Department of Labor says that he works over 30 hours at a time. It's a change in the Department of Labor laws. You can look it up and I would highly suggest anytime you make any changes to this, that you look at the underlying law or you ask about it.
It's kind of where the part-time benefit. Yeah, I actually didn't change the number of hours.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
What's.
I'm just saying what Anna said is correct.
So that's not what benefits told me though.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd say the Department of Labor overrules benefits.
Well, does anybody, I mean, do we have the language? Do we have the statute or whatever we're referring to then? That says 30 hours, so we know what to put?
It's not gonna be in the Oklahoma Statutes Department of Labor, so.
Page 30. Up to the.
So, Madam District Attorney,
Yeah, that's for health insurance. So.
then we say full-time employee. Yeah. I'm gonna ask them.
Okay, I got this that I just looked up.
Okay.
Says the Department of Labor's Fair Labor Standards Act does not define full-time work, but it does require non-exempt employees receive overtime pay for any hours worked over 40 in a work week. While employers can set their own definitions, the IRS uses a guideline of at least 30 hours per week on average to determine full-time status for the Affordable Care Act.
So employers can set their own definition. Right now it's 40.
And it seemed like it did say 40 was
I
the,
mean, it says the Department of Labor doesn't define it.
And our
But
DA
they
is
pay
telling us
overtime for any overtime over
30.
40.
I'm just saying that this is the language, anything that is in this language that was drafted by our office is legal and valid. But Hannah made the comment about the 30 hours, I was just confirming that under federal regulations, 30 hours can be considered a full time. It doesn't, you can set this at 40, but I'm just saying, she's not wrong that you could have technically somebody who works 30 hours and be considered full-time employment under the federal guidelines.
If you have a part-time employee who's scheduled to work 25 hours, but then you have a business need, and then all of a sudden, lately they've been having to work more than that, and they're at 35, 36. The company, the county can set that 40-hour minimum, but at some point, even that part-time employee can be eligible for and demand to have the benefits that are associated with that. So I hate for you to tie yourself to that when
Correct.
in
It does
reality,
say
there
health
could be something
insurance.
outside.
Everybody has to provide health insurance for anybody who's over 30 hours.
Right, which we do say in the handbook. But for retirement, leave benefits, all of those benefits are only afforded to employees that work 40 hours in the current handbook on page 15.
And that, like I said, that is a correct statement. That is fine. But when it comes to the health, like there is, I just wanted to point out, Hannah's not wrong, this is not wrong. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Aaron, tell me where you're frustrated. Are you frustrated? What is your recommended change?
What is listed right here? So if you're regularly scheduled to work 40 hours or more per week, which county employees, the hours are 8 to 5, which is also defined in the handbook. I think that encompasses all of your law enforcement people that are scheduled to work 8.25 shifts or whatever it is. They may work a couple of extra hours, but if you say 40 hours or more, I think that clears up the confusion of last month's conversation. But
Well, we got into
interested
the
to know
law
those thoughts.
enforcement of 171 hours and a 28-day pay cycle for law enforcement.
So they
So if
may
you
work
just did 40 hours
or
per
more.
week or more, whatever, 28 days, they're only gonna get 160 hours.
Which
Doesn't
Brandon was
qualify
saying
for
they
the minimum
normally
of 171 for law enforcement. So
to earn overtime, but they're not scheduled for 171.
They're scheduled for 168.
for what,
168 hours. Is what
Yeah,
all
still
law
8
enforcement
over.
requires.
40 hours per week.
And in a 28-day cycle, they could work 0 hours the first week.
But they're
Work 80 the next week.
they're regularly scheduled to work 40 hours or more.
Not necessarily. Sheriff's office can work 12 on, 12 off.
So what's,
What is the rationale for taking out the 171?
And there was just a lot of discussion about it last meeting. I'm happy to leave it the way it is, but that was not agreeable to everybody at the last meeting.
Why wasn't it, I don't remember, what was the objection to keeping the
I don't
It
171?
was the thought that they were scheduled to work 171.
No, because that language was not in there.
Because it says for a minimum of the 171.
so is that what's wrong, the minimum? The
Yeah,
minimum
this
could
is
be
still,
less
it's
than
the
that?
minimum 171 still a county requirement. the 28 day
There is
basis.
no minimum of 171.
The 171 is there in overtime over 171 in a 28-day cycle, but it has nothing to do with the weekdays.
There's just,
And it doesn't have anything to do with benefits, the 171.
Just overtime eligibility.
what's in the schedule. Versus what they want.
Okay,
I mean, I
that would be,
understand the
then you think the 171 would be addressed in a overtime language in here,
And it is.
but not in the ranking. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Well, and it is down below non-exempt law enforcement and detention. It's in there. And we did suggest, and that's why that, we suggested making the two divisions, full and part-time relates to benefits, and then the other things, temporary, exempt, regular, non-exempt, all that, were for overtime pay. So if we put non-exempt law enforcement and detention employees under this overtime pay category, then up here, where we're just talking about benefits, could we change it to the 168 or whatever that number is? What did you say? I don't know. Whatever the right number is for them being eligible for benefits. And then it could have a different number down here when it's talking about overtime pay. Does it have to have the same number in both places if the number's not right in both instances? I don't know. I don't know enough about that.
Now, breaking it into an A and B was discussed, and that would make it clear that, like, the reason why you make it a regular non-exempt employees and a non-exempt law enforcement distinction. That would be, and then if you did that, then the language that Aaron does, where it says, would work. So we keep the 171 or the 168 in the below portion with regard to overtime. Any individual regularly scheduled work 40 hours or more would be fine. If you break it into the two sections.
You mean if you continue down to say exempt, regular, non-exempt law enforcement?
Right, and I think that will actually have clarity of what this section is trying to do, because it does, there is a distinction, and I understand the confusion last time, because, well, why do we have a, part-time, full-time, and then we have these non-exempt? There is a distinction, they both need to be in there for different reasons. So breaking into sections would probably add to clarity.
They would be down here. So line should probably come out. We're just
Yeah, it's also in the overtime section.
So are we talking about, when we say A and B, of taking this non-exempt law enforcement detention employees and moving that up under full-time employee?
No, we're talking about, okay, go to the top right there where it says, where full-time employee, that section, and then part-time employee and temporary employee, that would be section A. And then section B would start with what exempt employees are, exempt, non-exempt.
Okay.
Exempt, non-exempt.
I mean, I didn't put just in my little working draft here, you know, making kind of my note to self of where we left off last time. If you scroll up to where it says full-time employee, yeah, right there, like right here, I put a new little heading that just says pertaining to benefits. And then after full-time and part-time, if you scroll down right here, after full and part-time, I put another little heading here that says pertaining to overtime compensation. So that these two different things under employment classifications, that's what we're doing here, classifications. We have sort of a breakdown of two different things that pertain to classification.
Leanne, you said which draft did you do that on?
Well, I think this is on the one I sent you this morning.
Very last.
But yeah, but like I said, that was just for me to kind of remember where we were and because we were talking about that right when we left last time. You know, to have the two different sections. Yeah, so that's what I did, just in my sort of note to self, so that you can tell what's underneath this, you know, what it's about. I mean, it doesn't have to say pertaining to, it could just be benefits, overtime, whatever, but I think that's what she means by the A and B, and I just gave it those headings so I would remember what we were talking about.
And I think the only thing, the pertaining to benefits, I think the temporary employee needs to be, temporary employee needs to be in section A, not section
So pertaining to benefits, but also work schedule.
A temporary employee gets benefit?
No, but it says that in there. It's not, it's really more along the lines of types of employees.
Oh, so
Types of yeah.
it's just saying that they don't get,
Yeah.
okay.
You see what,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if you want
Move it up.
clarity, it's like full-time employee,
Gotcha.
part-time employee, temporary employee, and then the next is exempt, non-exempt.
Yeah. Okay.
Classifications. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just need the label the headings, whatever. I just think that for clarity, it breaks them apart
Gotcha.
better.
I think I see what you're saying. Makes sense. So, however we broke it, you know, if we broke it up into the two sections, I'm still not sure what we're saying. For benefits under full-time employee, are we saying that this 171 number is wrong? That it should be 160 something? But then down below, when we're talking about overtime, the 100.
When you're entitled to overtime.
Okay.
But anything below that is not considered overtime.
Okay.
Correct.
So that
Right.
seems right
So-
down in the overtime section.
So the part, like I said, what you have there is, to me, is fine. But I would refer to the folks that have those 28-day cycles. I think that applies just fine. Or if you, that says, well, no, that language is different than the one that Aaron had. It said the individual who is regularly works, that's part-time.
That's part-time.
Scroll
Yeah,
up.
scroll up, please to the.
Yeah. That, work 40 or more hours who is regularly scheduled to work 40 or more hours per week. I think that would cover your folks. Without the number, the 168. Yeah. And that gives you more flexibility anyway, your scheduling. Which I like. I never want to pin you guys down to exact numbers.
So that works. What's up on the screen?
Full-time, yeah, scroll down a little bit so I can read the rest of it, but that full-time,
We need to-
this carries on to 10, it carries on to page 10. Yes, I think that's,
So we can take out the 171, 28-day stuff. And it'll still be okay
yes.
for benefits. Okay, Cassie, could you scroll where I can see the top and the bottom?
The problem is, it's on
It's
the
no,
bottom of
okay,
one page.
that's fine. 28 days.
Yeah, so it's gonna be real small.
By the way, welcome, Ryan.
Excuse my tardiness.
Welcome to mass computing.
And Leanne, if you click on your agenda, click that, you'll be able to pop on your screen. Okay, so moving, I don't know what we want to call this section A, but the full-time, part-time, and temporary. In part-time, I just put regularly scheduled to work fewer than 40 hours per week. And that's the current definition set by the county. And then under temporary, there is a typo. It says 42 randomly. I think that's just a typo. So take that out. Elected official or representative shouldn't be capitalized.
Lisa, in the second sentence of that, I'm just wondering how we should address this when it says part-time employees may be eligible for health plan coverage and some optional benefits if they meet certain requirements set out in the Oklahoma County Health Plan document.
How do you want to address that versus what both the IRS and the Affordable Care Act say you're eligible for at least healthcare benefits at 30 hours?
I think the way that is currently written indicates that if somebody is a part-time, that they may be eligible, and it's gonna be on a case-by-case basis, because not every part-time is gonna meet those qualifications. I think that it explains, and you might just say, if you feel like you, if you were interested in finding out whether you as a part-time employee qualify, consult with your HR representative, because it's gonna be a case-by-case basis for those part-times. I would hate to say, I like it being vague like that.
Okay.
It lets them know, hey, you might be eligible, check with your HR representative to see if
I
you
like
qualify.
adding that then.
And I can
Checking with
confirm
verifying
in
with
the health plan document, it does say 30 hours.
So, like I said, that will cover it. I think keeping it broad here and letting them, if they're part-time, because not every part-time is gonna qualify, so if you start putting it in here, then people are gonna say, well, I work 25 hours, but I can get benefits, can I work 30? And they're gonna be, and maybe you don't need a 30-hour employee, but the employee's gonna, well, other part-time employees are getting it if they get 30. I just think it's better to leave it broad, let them contact the HR representative to see if they qualify.
Your capitalization there. I think I was telling you the other day, as many times as I've gone through like all the different versions of the handbook, I don't have strong feelings about it one way or another, but it looked to me like elected official more often than not was capitalized just in these documents, but not always. So it was kind of so I think, that might be something we could decide today. Do we want to just make that our standard? Either we're going to capitalize it every time or we're not going to capitalize it, because it's kind of just in there randomly both ways. And I mean,
Yeah, and I would say not capitalizing because it's not a proper noun on its own.
it's not, but
Yeah.
If that makes the elected officials feel better that they are getting capitalized. I mean, I don't know how that came about, but I don't.
Yeah. Without objection, let's make that the standard. Small
Okay.
letters.
Small
Okay.
case. Okay, that's easy enough. And so then that goes for other things like department head and some of those other things that are, they're in there capitalized most of the time, but not all the time. And I just kind of got yeah. So we want to just make those non-capitalized if they're not proper nouns. Okay.
Okay, so I will move to accept the changes to full-time employee, part-time employee, and temporary employee.
I will second.
Any additional discussion? All small letters.
Yeah, and can I add that also, Cassie, to apply those changes under temporary employee? If it's not a proper noun, then we won't capitalize throughout the handbook.
Okay.
Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay. And everyone need Ryan, by the way, what was that? Well, he was just appointed. He's enthusiastically here.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you
where
all
do
for
you
having
work?
me. District One.
He's representing Commissioner Lowe's office. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Do we want to make a motion about these headings for the two different sections here? Or do we want to definitely put in the headings, and if so, what do we want the headings to say? Or do we want to discuss, I don't know my procedure, but do we make the motion and then discuss it, or do we discuss it and make the motion?
Well, I think it'll make more sense if I heard the DA correctly.
I just don't like A and B, because that doesn't really tell you what it
Yeah.
is, but
In the current handbook, employment status definitions encompasses full-time, part-time, and temporary, and then exempt and non-exempt classification of employees has exempt, regular, non-exempt, and law enforcement. So we could just adopt the ones that are in the current handbook.
I don't think we'll have that with me, so.
So it would make A, employment status definitions, and B, exempt and non-exempt classification of employees.
Sounds like a motion.
I'll move to.
Okay.
Second, so the current handbook.
And what was the second one, Erin?
Exempt and non-exempt classification of employees.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, any more discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Karen, you're on the roll. Woo-hoo. All right, are we through with
Yeah.
item 3?
If Cassie lets us.
Sorry, I'm still writing the motion. Okay.
You good, Cassie?
Okay, for exempt, regular, non-exempt, and law enforcement.
Is that still under item 3? Okay, we're still under item 3.
The biggest change here is removing the examples of employees. So these statuses should be defined by their salary and their responsibilities. So just because you call somebody a deputy or second deputy, it doesn't necessarily mean that they meet the FLSA standards for exemption. So I'm just recommending we remove the examples. Also helps us cut down, I think, on extra language in there that can get us to a shorter, more manageable handbook.
So what we're seeing on the screen are these are your strike throughs?
Yes.
I like strike throughs.
Madam DA, what say you about this?
I'm all for no examples. As long as, you've got clarity.
Okay, so Aaron, just to make sure it's under exempt, regular, non-exempt, and non-exempt law enforcement. Attention, correct? Okay. Everybody see it on the board?
Are we comfortable,
Excuse me.
Where did we last mention what FLSA is? Really comfortable abbreviating that? I can't think.
It's
mean,
in
I know it's in there.
it's right here in this paragraph that starts compensation sections
Okay.
right above.
So they should be able to see what that is without. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. Very good.
Okay, if you like links, that's a good spot. Look at them. FLSA page that has the classification breakdown, so people can go up the federal and go directly to the federal.
All right. Make a motion, man.
Okay, I'll move to accept the changes to exempt employees, regular non-exempt employees, and non-exempt law enforcement and detention employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Just a quick question. Then, is this, Fair Labor Standards Act 29 USC, like at the bottom, would that be the thing that we would link if we were?
So if you link the highlighted US code, that's under the first paragraph, and then this is just within that code. This is the specific citation for the law enforcement.
Okay.
So I would link both.
The top one, the 29 USC,
Yeah, that's all of the FLSA.
and then cite 29 CFR subsection 553-211 E&F.
That's
You're
specific.
saying to highlight that.
No, to link.
Well, that's fine. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, Ryan, just for your edification, what we're trying to do is take 112 pages and carve it down to something more reasonable. Also have hyperlinks so that people, when they go to the index, right now it's not linked. For people, new employees, such as yourself, or other husbands, wives, spouses, cousins, whoever, go in there and they can click on it and go straight to the page rather than endlessly scroll.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to make the handbook more modern and more concise.
Absolutely.
Makes sense?
Thank you.
So we're gonna hyperlink them. I don't think we need to. We're just gonna do
I think we already voted last.
Yeah, I think we
it.
did
Okay,
at some point.
we just,
We voted to do it.
what we have now is. Okay. All right, are we through with item 3? All right, let's move on to item 4. This is discussion, possible action to accept changes to the time recording, in parentheses, non-exempt employees section of the handbook draft. Aaron.
Just proposing to update the language to reflect what we actually do. So right now it says time clocks, time cards, or other similar means. Everybody except the public defender and drug court use the Tyler system. I want to just confirm it's not for. Okay, I think I remember you saying that. So everybody that this handbook would apply to uses this time and attendance system, which was called ExecuTime until like a month ago. So taking out language about putting your time card in a rack when nobody does that.
An example of antiquated handbook.
Now, we've talked about this a couple of times, but I know that like in executive time or in the time on the exempt employees are also required to submit time cards just to have the accurate record of hours worked. So the fact that this only says non-exempt, it would apply to more people.
Yeah, that's a good point. So for this handbook is silent on exempt employees' timekeeping. And it's also silent on use of leave benefits for exempt employees, which is something I think that we need to discuss and decide how to move forward with, because we know exempt employees earn paid leave benefits, so you need to be required to use them, or it doesn't make sense that you're earning them. So I didn't include language in here. I could propose something unless somebody has ideas.
So you're just saying that these.
I mean, I think one option is to just make this apply to all employees and not specify non-exempt. Other than like the overtime piece would need to probably specify that exempt employees are not eligible for overtime, but
All the requirements to clock in and out. And there's also no provision for pre-populated meal periods. How it reads now is every employee clocks in, every employee clocks out, which we know exists employees in several departments don't. And then a lot of departments use pre-populated meal periods where it automatically takes a 1 hour deduction, and this says that they have to clock in and out after every meal period, so it can't be both.
Or exempt.
Well, both.
Oh, yeah, right.
My non-exempt
way.
employees have an automatically full meal
Right.
period, and they're required to request a change. If there's something.
Is this the version?
No.
I was gonna say, this is older than the language.
this was
right,
from your
so
version.
So, I mean, like I said, I
This
don't
is your-
remember any of that.
This is your version, and so this is where we're at. In the ACO version you originally presented.
You go up a little bit, maybe.
Aaron, as I was making notes, I even just eliminated that whole last sentence of that first paragraph. Time records should be carefully checked, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if people don't know to like check their, and that just seems kind of like, I don't know, preschool or something, but just to say that they're used to calculate the paychecks. I think if you just say that, earlier in that paragraph, these records are used to calculate paychecks, then it should be obvious that you want to be careful and accurate and all those things.
Yeah, but you want them to have the duty in theirs to check it so that they're not just automatically populating. Because that is a terminable offense if they, if they turn in a timesheet that's inaccurate and they're gonna say, well, I didn't know I was supposed to check it. Yeah, everybody should know that, right? It's common sense, right? But when it's in the employee handbook, you've got your grounds for termination already like that. We were put on notice. That's what this is.
Yeah.
It's to put people on notice of the common sense things that you think everybody knows, but if everybody used common sense, our handbook would be 5 pages.
That's true.
Stacy will tell you the number of people that call and blame her because their time sheets are wrong for these.
Yeah, got a lot of those. I'm sorry.
I think, Aaron, if I heard you correctly, you're saying this should be all employees, not just non-exempt.
I mean, that's an option. Thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, like Hannah said, exempt employees don't clock in or clock out. So I don't know if it, gives room for that, and then also the auto deduct for the meals.
So exempt aren't required to record their time, they don't clock in and out. Are they
They're supposed-
required to?
I mean,
They do have.
their time is recorded in our timekeeping system. But it's not like they have to go in and punch a clock like non-exempt.
It's auto-populated.
Yeah, it's our.
So what about the, vacation days off, sick days off?
Time off, they do have to go in and undo their auto
Right.
and then
So-
put in, their specific leave time.
So you could add a exempt employees are required to accurately record their time off, their
Mhm.
leave time off.
Yes,
And then non-exempt employees are required to do all of this.
yes,
That would be.
Just an extra sentence for what the
exempt
employees are required to do.
And then remove the meal period part, unless you're gonna require everyone to do that.
I wondered about that too. Does anybody do that? Does anybody make people
I
clock in
have
and out?
employees who do. I have employees who we do.
yeah,
require
there are
to clock
some
in.
departments that do and some that auto deduct.
I have others that.
Okay. All right.
So if this says employees should clock in or otherwise accurately record their meal periods, because they would already be recorded. So you would still expect them to follow what their timesheet says, like it should still be accurate. But we could change the language, but I also think that this might be sufficient.
The verbiage
Immediately before and after. Yeah.
You did the immediate.
Hannah, say
Or
that again.
accurate,
Where it says immediate, where they, employees should clock in or otherwise accurately record, immediately before and after their meal period.
Yeah,
That to me
that's the
reads,
hanger.
it's 11:58 to 12:54, not the 1 hour pre-clock. That to me reads, they must immediately before and after their lunch clock in and out. Or adjust their time card to reflect.
And you're bothered by,
Because probably 75% of my employees do an auto. So
Mhm.
some days they may take 45 minutes, some days they may take an hour and 15. Overall, they go to their supervisor to adjust their meal period if it's wrong.
gotcha.
And it's not necessarily immediately before or after the
Correct.
actual time period.
That to me says you're clocking in and out.
Mhm.
Right.
You use the word accurate.
Well, then you could say, instead of immediately, you could say during, well, during,
Just take out the immediately before and after.
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
So
during
just
meal periods,
You're
with
right,
the
record
exception of
meal
those that
periods.
are automatically deducted.
Or just say that any other breaks in work will be appropriately recorded. I think it's just that immediately before and after, you can just pull that.
Is that in the DA's version? Okay, yes.
So just,
That's from the act though.
Yeah, it's an echo statement.
we could say employees should clock or check in or otherwise accurately record their time. Mark all of that immediately stuff out for meal periods. Is that what we're saying?
Or meal periods. with the
And when leaving at the
exception-
end of the work.
With the exception of those that are automatically deducted. Or automatically adjusted.
Unless that's your intention. If your intention is you want people to do that. I mean,
Yeah, if you don't have the exception though, then everybody's required to do meal.
Well, it's been in the handbook all this time. We're following it anyway, so. Cause I don't know if they've read the handbook.
I just think if you're on an auto deduction, you're meeting the criteria. Yeah. It's if you're not on the auto deduction that you have to, that is put in, that they need to be aware of that.
So
I think an automatic meal deduction period is meeting that criteria.
So either way, accurately recorded.
Yeah, and it just has to be accurately recorded by whatever means possible. Manually or automatic, they have to accurately record it.
So currently it says immediately before and after their meal periods if required. Which I don't know, but I like that.
Somebody make a motion.
well, okay.
You getting it, Leanne?
For the, if we're still talking about the lunch or meal periods, we've got clocking in, but we don't have clocking out before they leave. So do they, I mean, you have to do both or neither, right? You can't just do half of that. So the ones that are required, they're clocking out and then clocking back in, and the ones that aren't required aren't doing either, correct?
Well, I think you could say employees.
So I'm just saying, we can't just say should clock in, because they haven't clocked out for lunch yet, if they, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like we need to say both, clock out and in.
Should accurately, and employees should accurately record their time.
I'd be fine with that. And not have clock in even in there.
Or during the meal periods.
Employees
And the end of
should
the work shift.
accurately record their time for meal periods and when leaving at the end of the work shift. Or when leaving the premises for the purpose. I'd be good with that.
Is that your motion, Leanne? Did I hear a motion?
Yes. That one, I mean, but we might be in the middle of another motion. Are we in the middle of another motion?
Yeah.
Leanne, can you read it for me one more time?
Okay, on number 2, employees should accurately record their time for meal periods and when leaving at the end of the work shift, or when leaving the premises for approved personal reasons. So we've stricken through clock or check-in or otherwise. And we've stricken through immediately prior to starting work, immediately before and after there. And replace that with the word for.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Keep moving.
So do we want to go back and, we didn't say for sure if we're gonna add this sentence, or did we? About exempt at the very beginning before the numbers start.
I do not have a motion recorded.
Non-exempt employees are required to act. Do we want to say something there about exempt employees also? Or are we gonna just leave it like that?
Should it just say employees instead of defining exempt, non-exempt?
No, because non-exempt or exempt employees don't have to clock in their time. All they have to do is record their leave. The sentence right before that non-exempt that says exempt employees are required to accurately record their leave time on their pay period.
So maybe after these numbers. Since
Or right
these,
above, you go up, see that sentence that says non-exempt employees are required? Right above that, can you scroll up so I can see the persons there? Recording, that's all about non-exempt, time recording non-exempt
Yes.
employees. You could have a section that says time recording exempt employees, and it can be one sentence.
very good. And that's why it's like after all of these numbers, 1 through 6,
Right,
then
and then-
down below that, and we could give it that same heading, so they would match time recording exempt
Right, right.
employees.
Time recording exempt employees, and it can be literally one sentence.
If we want to do that. I don't know what the sentence should say, but I'm good with that.
exempt employees should actively record.
Vacation and
Vacation.
sick days.
Yeah, leave time, sick days.
Beforehand, we had exempt employees are required to accurately record their time. That's what was stated beforehand.
Good. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
So I just want to confirm it's to add a section before the
Payment of wage.
non-exempt.
Are we doing it before or after? I thought,
Before.
okay, before,
The non-exempt section
okay, so
It'll say
for
time
time
reporting
reporting
exempt employees, just like that.
employees, and then adding a sentence right below that says exempt employees are required to accurately record their time. Is that?
Yes. Is there a second?
second.
Second. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed?
She's a yes, not an opposed.
Motion carries. Thank you. I want to give everybody, let's take take a 10-minute break and come back here at 10:45. Is there a motion to recess until 10:45, meeting back at 10:45?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Aaron, I couldn't find an electronic
Is there a motion to return from recess and start back into our meeting, please? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right. One thing from me, there's the old story of Cortez when he was exploring the world, and no one knows the historical accuracy of it, but when he landed on some foreign shore and ran into the Aztecs, he found this ship. And he wanted them committed. We need to, as a group, I just want to encourage you, don't lose faith. Be committed. We're going to get through this. We need to plow through. And we're wordsmithing. Sometimes there's word of art, but my bottom line for anybody in this room is that lady right there, our DA. So she's our guide, and she's helping us through, and we appreciate her time. We need to make sure that we are dedicated and committed to finishing this in a timely manner. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week, but in the next few meetings that we do, we need to bring something to the budget board. And it's a living, breathing document. If we find errors down the road, we'll come back and fix it. But we need to be committed. So that's my encouragement and advice is to keep enthusiasm going. Don't lose hope. We will get there. Okay?
And we're supposed to burn the old handbook, or what was the Cortez?
We may have a book party at some point. What is it? To burn the dress after weddings, or whatever it is. People do that. Burn the dress. I've done some photo shoots like that over the years. No problem. So we were on item 4. Are we through with item 4?
No, but I think we've all had time to look at the section. So I will move to accept the changes other than what Leanne had suggested for for number 2 in the list, to accept the other changes to that section under item 4.
I will do one exception. You crossed out in several places clock on the clock or check in. Crossed out in previously. We crossed out or check.
Mhm.
And we still have it listed under 4. Employees are not permitted to clock or check in.
I have it removed. Oh, no, I have it removed.
Not on mine.
Yeah. This one doesn't show it that way on this screen, but.
Yeah.
Under 4? Oh,
Right
that's
there,
under 3.
4.3,
Under,
yeah.
under the whole 4. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. So to also remove
Strike
that.
out the or check.
Okay, I'll amend the motion to include all this change.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. By the way, Madam District Attorney, while we're here, in case we have a meeting, I thought we were gonna, possibly, when we, if we recess this meeting and have another meeting, let's see, was it tomorrow or Wednesday?
Tomorrow's fine. Yeah, I mean, if you need to, yes.
Yeah, if we are an 8-member board, and let's say we have 5 members that show up for a meeting, do we have to have 5 votes because it's 8
It's the
or?
majority of them, yeah. It's not the majority of the quorum, it's a majority of the board. So you can meet, you can vote, but anything to pass would have to be unanimous.
It'd have to be 5-0 votes. So keep that in mind. If we have a day where, trust me, I know there's a lot going on in this county. If there are 5 of us here, we have a meeting, we all have to do it. I'm not saying we have to, but in order to get something passed. So an item may come up, it's 4-1, or somebody abstains. Don't get discouraged by that. We can take that item up when we do have 8. Okay,
And see if
it
we
won't
can-
be dead.
Bully that person to
Right. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't lose heart in case that happens when we are, if we only have 5. Okay?
Gotcha.
Thank you for your advice, counsel. Go ahead, Aaron, you were saying.
Okay, so item 5 should be easy under payment of wages. This is just changed to reflect the
I'm
actual.
sorry, did we vote on that? On the
Yeah.
previous?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. We're shut on that.
Before
go.
you move, just really quickly, number 5 on there, and again, this may just be juvenile, if there's a loophole, juvenile will blow it wide open, so disregard me if you don't think it's necessary. When it says employees are prohibited from working overtime that's not approved and authorized by their supervisor, we've had a lot of supervisors that think that means that if they work it and it wasn't approved, that it gets removed. It cannot be removed under any circumstances. It must stay on the timesheet regardless, so. I know that's already been in there, that's been established, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there that that can catch some people up. So as long as you guys are good that you don't think that will confuse anybody, I'll write more specifics in my policy to show that. But that's been an issue for us in the past when people have thought that that meant if it wasn't approved, then it got removed from the timesheet.
That's a major issue. Now that we've passed it, I will suggest that you come to, once we present this for budget board, you can bring that up.
Another place that you might think about addressing it is when you have the conduct, employee conduct, that it's a disciplinary action if they work overtime. You know, they still earn their overtime, but it's a disciplinary action if they work overtime without permission.
Okay.
Just so that might be another place where you get sure
Okay.
of the issue that she's talking.
Thank you. And thank you, Hannah. All right. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
Okay, so item 5, payment of wages. This is to reflect the county's, the pay cycle, rather. So it's not like we know we don't get paid on the last day of the month, or this is the 11th day of the month.
Yeah.
Which is just, I think, generic language that just needs to be updated. So I'll move to accept this section.
Second.
Let me go to our resident. When a day starts and when a day.
Now, I had that marked generally the same information. My wording was a little different. I just said the pay period begins at 12 a.m. on the 21st day of the month and ends at 11:59 p.m. on the 20th day of the month. The regular payday shall be on the last day of the month. When payday falls on a holiday or other non-scheduled workday, employees will normally be paid on the last preceding day of the workday. So I didn't change the language quite as much, but all of the times I did exactly as she did. So I
Yeah, and I
think the
think-
times are correct.
I think to say the regular pay date shall be on the last business day of the month
I mean,
encompasses to what you were saying too.
I think either one is fine. Just to get those times correct to me was what was important. Yeah, I think that is the correct reflection of the times.
Okay, we have a motion in a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I'm not gonna get in some argument with your boss, Larry Stein. Under this, am I?
Probably. That was too funny.
I'm just gonna.
I mean, because I wasn't there, I guess that's why it was funny.
Yeah. Okay. Item 6, discussion possible action to accept changes to the payroll deduction section of the handbook by Aaron. Do I have it?
Okay, so I'm just recommending to unbold the list of required deductions and remove the optional deductions. 1, to save space, and 2, because they change. For example, we don't have credit union deductions anymore. Standard, the HR representative language. This would be a content change. So directing questions about a paycheck to the payroll department, I think makes more sense than to the county HR, since county clerk's payroll does keep the timesheets and process payroll. And then just removing that last or by certified mail. I think we just go through the regular pay channels and don't have.
Just think if you're gonna list both of them to say those permitted by law and those authorized by the employee, either have the examples or don't have the examples. If you're gonna have the examples, have both. And if you list the ones by the employee, then it's the current ones that we have. So if we don't have a credit union, but you still may want 457 retirement plan contributions, discounted gym membership. Just have the accurate ones if you're going to list them.
I lean towards removing all of the examples just because they do change and then,
And you just put the first sentence.
yeah.
You open to that, Aaron?
Wait.
Yeah,
No. Only deductions, wait, how does she have that first sentence? Can you go back up? I got it right here. Never mind, it's right here.
It would read, only deductions required and or permitted by law and or authorized by the employee will be withheld from an employee's paycheck. Deleting those required by law are as follows.
Yeah,
Deleting the examples of optional as well.
so delete the bulleted list and then it'll immediately go to any questions about a paycheck.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll move to, well, any discussion about the second two? And if not, I'll move to accept the second two paragraphs along with the previously stated.
I was writing it and I was like, wait, is she not? She is.
So I wondered about this when I was reading it, the last little thing about the certified mail and all that. Is that just an absolute no-go? I mean, I don't know. Can we just say definitely? I don't know why we ever did that or how that came to be or what the deal is.
Because county used to produce checks, it no longer produces checks
Right.
unless somebody passes away. But it's either a direct deposit into your bank or a pay card.
Right. So we know that that definitely could not or would not happen. I just wondered, I was like, I don't know
Okay.
what instance would prompt that?
There's a motion. Is there a second?
What is the motion, just to clarify?
Restate the motion.
Sure, so the motion is to make all of these changes with the addition of removing all of the examples. So where it says those required by law, we'd strike through, and then the examples of those required by law. And then the other changes that are on the screen.
I think the only thing that I'm getting hung up on is first the employee's supervisor, and then we're getting rid of department head, so it's employee supervisor or HR representative. And then we're taking out the elected official part of it. So we're giving an employee the option to go straight to HR, correct? Instead of having a line where you should be going to your supervisor or department head before going to HR. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, I guess the way it reads supervisor or HR representative. So for questions about a paycheck bill, I would think that those people would be able to answer your question, and if they weren't, you would need to talk to people.
Okay.
So what did we say before when we're putting in that term HR representative? Is that like the person in our office that handles HR, or is that somebody in the bigger
Yes,
HR department?
Office.
Or could it be either?
The employee's HR representative.
So does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, and I'm fine with the HR representative like doing that handbook wide. I think I'm concerned about handbook wide. You know, I understand with the payroll, fine, but as we go along, I think it needs to be established that the line should be you're going to your supervisor, department head before you're going to HR for an issue. I think payroll, you know, sure that makes sense going to the clerk's office, but as
You're saying supervisor, then HR representative, then
yeah.
payroll department.
Would the employee ever directly contact payroll, or would that be the like HR representative?
Would allow them to
No,
contact
that's what it's
payroll
saying.
directly. If they had a question.
Yeah, I've done that over
I
the
don't
years.
know if that's,
I go to,
and whether you put it in there or not, they're still gonna do it.
there's sometimes, what was it? It was the Trump, when Trump was, his first term as president, there was some big tax that wasn't really a tax break. And so I went to the payroll, I didn't go to HR or a supervisor, and I took out more FICA or whatever it was because I owed more money to the IRS than I originally thought. So I had them deduct more out of my paycheck. That's when I went immediately to payroll. You don't do that, I don't think, through supervisor or HR. Right? Went straight to payroll. So that option needs to be there. Ryan, you're just saying instead of or, you would say supervisor, then HR? You want to change the word or to then?
If everyone is okay with that, I just think that should be a standard moving forward with kind of the chain. If that makes
Yep.
sense.
You okay with that amendment?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll amend my motion to change or to then.
Hey, Ryan, I know you weren't on the board when we did all this discussion before on this.
Mhm.
When it comes to like sexual harassment or different types of discrimination claims, if the supervisor in the chain is directly responsible, we want them to have all reporting options available,
Right.
and it can hamstring you. So when you say all the way throughout, I wanna make clarifying language that we've already passed provisions that would now need to go back and be amended because we've done the commas, not this person first. I mean,
Right.
everybody should respect the chain of command when they need to.
But
I just wanna make sure that you're clear that nothing is going to, it's not gonna be actionable if somebody goes and reports something outside the chain of command. I'm
right.
just saying.
And I remember in the current handbook that for a harassment claim towards the supervisor, that exception of being able to go straight to the HR or to the elected official. And then if it's about the elected official, it may go straight to HR. That kind of stuff. Is that example been put in or exception been put in
Yes.
rather?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, and so like I said, when you talk about this, doing it throughout, I just wanna give clarity that, you know, chain of command is important, but on something like that's what these are for. Certain specific issues, allow them to go to different people, maybe not necessarily chain of command.
Yeah.
You said that in your motion, I thought you said going forward, I would like to see it.
Yeah, I just
And I wanted to clarify that we've already covered that, treaded that ground and already put that in the past, so we'd be reopening that up.
Oh yeah,
To that
to
change.
clarify, I'm only talking about this section
Okay.
in my motion.
Okay. All right, I just, like I said, but what he was saying, I was gonna make sure that we were clear. I didn't want it to go back and have to rehash over that sexual harassment policy that we were.
absolutely.
Okay.
I think my last question I have for this section, for the wages in full, are we going to cover annual and comp accrual payout on termination or
That's,
It's covered later.
later?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's under the,
It's in fringe
leave
benefits.
benefits.
Okay.
It is in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, the way it's structured,
Thank
Okay.
you for
There's a motion and a second, there's been discussion, is there any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
thank you.
Item 7. Joseph? Did you say something, brother?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. We're on item 7, is that correct?
Yep, so item 7, hours of work, recommending just adding in the annex building to the courthouse. Those are the annex building hours as well. Really, now that I'm thinking about this should say other work sites, possibly.
There are some work sites that open at 7. Yeah.
We open at 7.
And, the district. The district, do they open earlier, like 7:30?
We open at 7.
So there is, the last paragraph of this section says the activities of some departments require alternative schedules to meet work needs. In those departments, the elected official may authorize a deviation from the normal work schedule.
Yeah.
So do we feel like that covers it to say just the courthouse and annex, or?
You could, well, I know on jury duty, we allow jurors in it. Because there's some that says that to report by 8 o'clock, people like to go here. I would say in most cases, the courthouse will normally be open to the public, but Butch Freeman's office and other offices, people want to come in, pay their taxes, do whatever before they go to work.
And we, allow customers in.
But the building is unlocked by sheriff's deputies. Approximately 6:30, I think, for employees to get in here. I know our staff on jury days is very much earlier than that. So,
Well, maybe we should just say something like the Oklahoma County Courthouse and Annex Building will normally be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But could be earlier, or those times could be extended depending on your office or something like that. And then down, at the ending, it does say the activities of some departments require alternative schedules. Maybe if it's just said in there 2 different times. This is kind of the norm, but could be different.
Under.
Yeah,
This is,
I think-
this is old employee manual language too, I don't know if this is accurate.
Yeah, I think this is from the ECHO.
It's Echo.
okay, so I don't want to overcomplicate it too much. If we have that provision in the last paragraph, I'm good with Stacy's suggestion to move that up, and then if there's not any more discussion, I would move to accept the changes to hours of work.
What are we moving them in
I have a
for?
question.
The last activities.
What's a reasonable amount of time when you're talking about a break?
Federal labor standards is 2-minute break.
Correct. So a break is defined. It's not a reasonable amount of time.
Oh, so you're specifically talking about related to breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding, that's a specific breastfeeding.
That's also a
statute, yeah.
specific,
And it does not list the time.
Yeah, that's the
Because
language
it may
from the
take
law.
20 minutes to come.
I don't have my glasses on, maybe I read it wrong.
It's for that's specifically for the breastfeeding,
Gotcha. Okay.
break.
That, I knew that was defined in statute.
Yeah. And I think that's the language that we have recently adopted, right? That was put in the handbook not that long ago when the law came out here and did that. I think.
Yeah, I can't remember where I pulled it from, but
Yeah.
from either the handbook or the law.
Mhm.
I can vouch.
We added last fall, or maybe 2 years
All right.
ago.
This helps now, it's nice and big. I have to borrow Rich readers over.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
He's got two hands.
I got car and clutch. There's no in between.
Now, the one thing that you do here, what by mentioning the breastfeeding break, like what Joe was kind of getting at, there's no language about breaks for any other employees here. And I don't know if the hours of work is where that breaks and this kind of stuff need to be addressed, but if you're gonna address it here, you might want to consider not just singling out the breastfeeding break.
Yeah, Cassie actually just
Okay,
highlighted that.
good. Okay,
Lunch and breaks. I'm open to it going somewhere else, but I thought
it's fine.
that the sections that made the most sense.
You want to link the statute or law for the breastfeeding on there, or no?
That'd be good.
We can, I don't have it handy, but.
Well, and that's also, Joe, if I'm correct, and Madam DA, that's for the public as well as employees, correct?
Well, the breastfeeding station's available for that. This is specifically an employee. They passed a specific law, I think it was 2 years ago, where employees have to be given an adequate amount of time for breastfeeding. And the reason why is that 2 15-minute breaks may not be sufficient in a day for a breastfeeding mom to be able to pump. And so that they've specifically created a statute for employees. This is not to do with the public, and I don't want anything in our handbook dealing with public policies or public access. This is just for employees.
Sure. Emotional support. Okay, so are we saying we need to cite that federal law there?
You can, I mean, that's a pretty accurate statement, but you can always do a link for any statutory authority you want, and you can add those links in later.
Okay.
You just made a notation to say add link. When you do that and it comes over for legal review, I will insert the link, I will insert the statute.
Cool. Great. All right, so Erin, you had a motion?
Okay, so just to confirm, it's to move the last sentence in the section to the top of the section and accept all other changes.
Actually, I think it's two
Under-
sentences.
So the last paragraph, we'll move that underneath the first paragraph.
I did say sentence and then paragraph.
So the first paragraph will stand, the last paragraph becomes the second paragraph.
Everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Okay, motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Keep it moving. We are on item 8.
So
Discussion and possible action to accept changes to the work week and work period section of the handbook draft. This is request by Erin McComb.
yeah, so just simplifying this, we've already defined and cited the code, the federal code that defines law enforcement employees. So taking that out, correcting the work week, which in the current draft is incorrect, and that's it.
The striking law enforcement employees are defined as, just that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And this fits your English teacher definitions of when a day starts.
Yes, it's beautiful.
And you're going to brief your boss again here on this again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that.
Yeah, I like it. Larry's a brother. I love that man.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, I'll move to accept the changes to work week and work period.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Item 9.
Oh. The thing right below that says for law enforcement employees, or for public, that's all part of that, right?
Yeah.
That's what we just, and then the note that's going away, that's part of what we just voted on as well. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Item 9 is discussion regarding changes to telecommute section in the handbook draft.
Okay, so just going to add VOCC department head, as we have in other places, removing just what I think might be some unnecessary language from it. I think if we have a telecommuting agreement like this states that we will, it can have details of telecommute, but again, just shortening it. And I'm also, I think the motion is to move it out of the compensation policies and into employment policies.
To what section? Now,
Does it say on that?
help me out, VOCC folks. Doesn't IT have a lot of telecommuters working?
Yes.
The BOCC has also adopted a policy that telecommuting is not, for BOCC departments, is not an option. Unless with IT, we've given the exception and they have to report with the list of who is. And it's because of space.
Providers for quarterly report.
So how does this read for,
At the very, go to the very top, I think it says it's no, most county positions are not suitable. And this, that, because we do have certain people telecommuting, plus there is ADA, sometimes on an ADA type of accommodation thing, you might do this. This just gives you, number one, it gives the elected officials, it says it's not a requirement, it's not a guarantee, it is not, it is the exception to the general rule of the county, it says that in there. And it gives you the ability to create telecommuting agreements with employees that are approved.
Okay.
And that's the intent of this. So however you word it, how much or how little you want in there, because you do have certain people telecommuting, you need other people in the county are gonna say, well, if someone gets to telecommute, why can't I? Well,
Yeah.
it's the exception to the rule. You're a public servant, you're supposed to be here.
so, Aaron, did you make a motion?
I will.
Can I?
Yeah.
Just make a little persnickety kind of English teacher thing. In that very first sentence. And then if Aaron wants to incorporate it or not, just whatever. I would just get rid of that whole thing. And as public servants, there is an expectation that I would just say county services must be accessible to the public, which means blah, 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 whatever. So that first part, I just think that's a little much. I don't know why we need to say as public servants, there is an expectation. I would get rid of those words. And then, right here, that's all this extra pronoun and stuff in here. I would just say, well, not pronoun. It's the exception to the general rule of county employees. Or no, I'm pointing the wrong thing. The use of telecommuting is a management option I would just say it is an exception to the general rule of, and then just say county employees reporting. And I would get rid of some of this extra.
Or you could say a general exception to the rule of the county. The county's not to telecommute. I mean, that's the intent.
It just seemed a little extra wordy in both of those spots, but that's nothing to really change what Erin's proposing. Those are just wording things. So I don't have any objection to anything that she's proposed.
Okay, for simplicity's sake, I'll move to adopt that section with the changes and to move it up to under nepotism and employment policies, taking it out of compensation policies.
Nepotism and what?
Just under the nepotism section, which is within the employment policies, but you don't need to write that. Okay.
Did you adopt any of Leanne's suggested changes?
I think for simplicity's sake, and based on what the DA is saying, I would keep it.
Few things are written.
For now, yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Carried. Item 10. Or are we still on?
Nope, we're on
Item 10 is discussion of possible actions to accept changes to the earning overtime section of the handbook.
Okay, so in this section, just using FLSA, because we've already said the full thing, not capitalizing laws, not capitalizing employees, calling this non-exempt rather than not exempt, just for consistency. The only probably content, well, I don't know if it's a content change or not, but paragraph 3 in that section. So in the case of non-exempt law enforcement personnel, comp time will be earned for hours worked in excess of 171 in the 28-day cycle rather than period, because that's what we're calling it. So it's, I take that back, it's not a content change. And just a typo in the note. So if there's no discussion, I would move to adopt those changes.
All right, let's let it soak in for a second. Hannah, you're gonna be our law enforcement to help, we have sheriff's office,
I have no objection.
you have no objection. Joseph?
Where's the language concerning payouts on comp time?
It is maybe in this next section.
I don't remember which one is it that you do that.
Because I had seen a draft where all of that language was stricken regarding that. I just want to make sure it's in
Yeah, right now we're just focusing on these few paragraphs.
there. But it's
We'll keep going.
on comp time, so I just want to make sure.
All right. Has everybody looked at this? Everybody gets it? Is there a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
Next agenda item, I don't have my thing in front of me. Are we still?
I mean, it's 11.
Yeah, we're on 11.
Okay, so this section, I do believe.
Wait. One second. I appreciate it. State for the public what this is about. Item 11 is discussion of possible action to accept changes to the compensatory time off for overtime section of the handbook draft. Thank you, Aaron. You're up.
So this is the section that talks about comp time being payable. The two additions that I had are from the law. I believe the one that's cited be. I did highlight to discuss this if payable. I think this needs to be decided if it's payable.
I mean, it's not.
But
The balance of any unused comp received but not taken. So this was the language in the ACO handbook. So if it is payable, I would just take out if payable and say shall be paid.
I think they're just talking about the time frame. It becomes payable when it hits the 180 days. Before then, you're not required to pay it. They can use it as comp time. It seems to me they were just clarifying.
so
So the balance of any unused comp time received but not taken during this time period shall be paid to the employee. I think the last paragraph
tell us what they do.
is my page 16, the top of page 16.
Oh,
So, Hannah, for the edification of us, like me, if there's anyone else out there like me, they can bank it for 180 hours and then say
180 days.
180 days, and then say, I want my money.
So for instance, we track, and in the 5th month, I force them to take it. I make them schedule it in the 5th month, so that never hits.
But if they don't get to use it, it's supposed to be paid out.
Right. I'm wondering what the sheriff's office does.
That's a statutory requirement.
Well, I know, I just love to have Brandon's input on that.
That's also a rule for holiday leave, FYI, but we don't really have a holiday leave record.
Yeah, you have an item on the agenda to discuss
The holiday leave?
that for 28 days.
Yes, it's number.
You're asking a confused person.
So last edit to this is just removing the note. This statute was actually revised probably since this to apply to all earners of comp time and not just those in an institutional section or setting. So removing that language.
Okay. Everybody know what we're talking about here? Nod your head. Yes or no? Is there a second?
What are we for the whole compensatory time off or overtime section? Everything? Is that what?
I believe that's Aaron's motion.
I don't think I mean.
What did we decide in the, down here in her highlighted part about the if payable and all that? I didn't hear what we said.
I will make a motion if we're ready. I wanted to give people time.
So are we doing if or is paid?
I would just take out if payable
And just is paid?
and say time received but not taken during this time period shall be paid to the employee. Okay, so I'll move to accept changes to this section, removing if payable. And
You good? Is there a second?
Second.
I want to make sure everybody understands it. Yeah?
I had some thoughts on a few other changes in this section, but I don't want to her deal here. I thought the first paragraph was very sort of unnecessarily wordy. I just rewrote it to make it more concise. And then in the last paragraph, that's actually not her added ones, but the ones that was there in the case of non-exempt law enforcement, where it says, in all cases where compensatory time off is authorized. It's just a wrong use of that word. Where is place? Anyway, but that's a whole another English teacher thing. I would just say in all cases of authorized compensatory time off, once the employee has utilized it, keep the rest of it the same. I would just say in all cases of authorized compensatory time off, comma, and then the rest of the sentence would stay the same. So I don't know if you want to address condensing that first paragraph. I've kept all of the critical content, just gotten rid of a bunch of extraneous sort of wordiness. So those were my two little things in that section, but they're not going to impact what her suggestions are. So
Do you want to pull up her version?
that's in that one that I just sent you today, I think.
Page 15.
Yeah, getting there. Almost. There. Oklahoma County has adopted a policy, practice, procedure, method. I was just like, that's a whole lot of words. I mean, it was just wordy. So I just said Oklahoma County, and then I just reworded it. Compensates employees at the rate of 1.5 hours for each hour of overtime worked. Employees are generally required to utilize compensatory time off in lieu of cash overtime payments, but an elected official at his or her sole discretion may decide to. And that's basically what that says up there, but I just condensed it. And it's just less words. So that's all that is. And then you can scroll down a little bit further to the part that I marked the where. In all cases of authorized compensatory time off. Instead of where it is authorized. So those are my little things in there.
I'm good with those as long as you feel that that covers like the hours in lieu payment.
I don't want the focus to be that you can ask your elected official to pay the overtime. I want the focus to be that you earn comp time and that they'll at 1.5 hours for each hour of overtime work, and that is your compensation for working overtime. And that the exception to the rule is payment.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you take step, I want the focus to be that the Oklahoma County pays overtime through the use of compensatory time in lieu of cash payment. That's the main policy.
So then at the end there where it says but, just say as an exception, an elected official at his or her.
That'd be fine. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want the focus to remain on the compensation is. This is how you're gonna be paid overtime, and it's gonna be time in lieu of payment.
Yep.
So as long, I'm good with your change, I just don't want the focus all of a sudden, when you take the stuff out, all of a sudden, when you start reading it, it just looks like, oh, well, we'll pay you overtime, but your elected official can pay you cash. Well, you're gonna get tons of requests now.
Yeah. Okay, so I would just, instead of where that says but, I would just put a period and then say, as an exception, comma, an elected official. I mean,
Maybe remove generally required and keep it just at asset.
yeah, I mean, let's strike out as many words as we can. Are required, are take out generally required to utilize.
You okay with those amendments, Eric?
Sure thing, as long as the DA's office is comfortable with it.
Okay.
I'll move to accept Leanne's changes to the first paragraph.
Minutes. Okay. Is there a second?
Let me just do the whole section,
Sure.
if we're.
Well, I thought we were, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. That you were moving all agenda items.
Go for it, Aaron.
Okay, so the first paragraph with Leanne's amendments, the other changes that I have in this section and removing if payable.
And do we want to make that little change in that third paragraph about authorized?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
And that, everybody clear as mud?
Cassie hates us.
And in the very last one, Aaron's saying take out if payable. Correct.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All those, any discussion, any additional discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Right.
I'm sorry, we need to pause for just a second, because Aaron had already proposed an agenda item. Ryan had seconded. We never called for a vote on that one. So we need to
Can I then amend my motion to,
give me just a second, I'm sorry.
Thanks for catching that, Cassie.
Sorry, I think that was my fault.
We get caught up in the weeds. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, no, it's fine. Did she just rescind her first motion?
I was gonna amend it.
And amend your second.
I'll amend my second too.
Withdraw your second.
That was my bad. I'm sorry.
So we're nixing the last motion and vote and everything that was just made. Is that what's happening?
I think if we can just amend it to add Leanne's changes, I think that's where we would be at.
Okay, so technically you and Ryan are withdrawing your first motion.
We have to vote.
Unless we can amend it.
Well, you already did. Withdraw your first motion.
Go ahead.
Joe's a good
Okay.
parliamentarian.
I will
Joe sucks.
withdraw.
But
First motion.
The first
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Where's the language that talks about separation? Your last paragraph talks about comp time being used, what is it, 180 days, and then if it's not used, it's payable. But there's nothing in here about paying out of comp time and separation.
It might be in the termination section. But we can look.
We do have a termination.
It is a section.
Not real sure. I mean, we're biting this elephant one bite at a time.
I know, I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
our employees
right.
are protected.
I got you.
Yeah, I know for annual time it's mentioned, but we'll make a note for
Right, it doesn't seem to, well, why don't you just put that down, keep my fears.
Well, we want to keep the handbook
Yeah, I
in
don't
the
know if it
term,
belongs
you know,
there.
less worded. So we're gonna put, I mean, it's in the
Well,
termination.
it's in the
leave.
leave section that talks about upon separation will be paid, and it's also in the termination section that it's equally as well as it's in the guarantee that they get paid out.
Personally, Joe, I'd like to have them separate. I really would, but I understand your point. And that's something that the elected is. So have we clarified?
I'm good now.
You're good? Okay. We voted,
Yes,
the motion carried, is that correct?
yes, because I used the last one that you all said, since they went ahead and withdrew their first motion.
I would, to me, it's lunchtime for a lot of people. I think we should take a break. We had discussed meeting tomorrow.
So the OCC is at 9. So
You guys expect a short, long meeting?
We've only got 20 items, one executive session item. What do you think, Paul? Less than an hour and a half?
For sure.
Assuming that we don't have.
let me just verify that this room is.
Stand up for a second.
What time did you suggest? 11? What? 10?
10:30 or? Is it?
I'm waiting on a response.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
We don't need to make it out, like, what just said, the new section has, the termination section is not. Okay.
I
So
get
Kat,
So you can put it here, or you put it in the termination section, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I said, I had seen a draft where it appeared we were attempting to not pay people upon separation.
I think that was a typo.
Yeah, I think the end goal is to make sure they get a final paycheck
Yeah.
that includes everything that they're owed, that you want
That's
clarity
not
that
the
they.
way one of the drafts.
Yeah,
That all that language.
wait,
Well, that, just because it's stricken doesn't mean you're not gonna pay.
Joe, in a lot of the Word documents, that when they're formed, they become PDF, you don't see how much. Sometimes when there's notes out there that say, we're gonna change this, so. We don't want any employees to think you get terminated, you lose all it, or your vacation. Will be our recommendation. So how are we doing, Kathy?
I'm getting a no, but I'm trying to see what's in here.
We're just waiting to see if, when this room's available.
Joe, I don't know if it goes in the termination section. It goes in.
Yeah, one of the first things I heard, Joe, was from Stacy Trumbo, said, "You're a handbook." You know, and he brought up that section upon termination, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Don't worry about that, Stacy. That's it." Yeah. Is everybody available tomorrow?
At 10, Let's see if that's-
We're just trying to find the,
Until
until 12. So I think the option is going to be, we can meet in VOCC.
okay. Anybody else have a problem with that sitting on the horseshoe?
I'm just waiting for confirmation. What is that?
It'll be tomorrow.
At 10:30 in the VOCC room. I'm just still waiting on confirmation.
I will not be able to have court hearing. I'll send somebody.
Going in on the Moody's rating call.
That's why we can't meet in this room.
That's at 11.
We could take a recess or something, you know how long those.
Scheduled for an hour.
You're gonna sit.
what about 2:30 in that Thursday?
Oh, Thursday?
2:30 tomorrow afternoon or Thursday?
Tomorrow's good.
2:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
Afternoon tomorrow is good. Thursday afternoon, I've got court.
And we have a meeting.
So where are we gonna make this room? Is it available at 2:30? Sorry for the delay, but we have to state when and where.
All good. You got a lot cranked out today.
Yeah, we did.
I'll let you copy or scan it or just bring that tomorrow.
Thank you.
You can do whatever you want.
Let's do 2:30 VOCC.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to meet, or to recess this meeting,
Someone.
reconvene tomorrow at 2:30 in the Board of County Commissioners.
On that one. Someone.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Let's see you tomorrow.
2:30 VOCC.
Thank you, everyone, and appreciate the teamwork.